Welcome back to Cattlemen and Cattlemen. At the Denver headquarters of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, one of the hallways features an amazing display of cattle brands representing ranches from all across the nation. It's known as the Living Legacy Wall, and it's a fundraising project of the National Cattlemen's Foundation. Russell Nemitz has more on how these unique brands are made.
The tradition is nearly as old as the cattle industry itself. When it's branding time, cattlemen gather, and with the help of fire and steel, they make their mark. Those brands that define a ranch are often deeply connected to a cattle-producing family.
Everyone has a story, and it's been really fun to talk to the people and find out their stories of how long they've had the brand, when their fathers or grandfathers instituted the brand, and then maybe their son lives on the different part of the property, and so they develop their own brand, so they have one for themselves, one for their son. And that's been really interesting to find out how that family life is a whole community.
Hillary DiPolo is an artistic designer who helped to develop the Living Legacy Wall at the NCBA office in Denver. It's a unique display that has become a place of honor.
Oh, I have been very impressed with how people are very proud to have their brand on display at the NCBA offices. They feel that it is part of the legacy that they are leaving. It's part of the legacy of being a rancher, of being a cowboy, of being people who are in the cattle business. And so it's very important to them to have that display on the wall, and they love to go see it when they're there.
There's a lot of people who really love the cattle industry, and they're trying to protect that legacy. And we want to give them a way to have that brand forever, on our wall, and I think that's significant for a lot of people.
Each brand that goes on the Living Legacy Wall works as a fundraiser for the National Cattlemen's Foundation, which supports valuable programs such as the Environmental Stewardship Award and beef industry scholarships.
The National Cattlemen's Foundation's primary purpose is to maintain agriculture. Education is the key to that, but we want people to be able to make a living and stay on the ranches.
I was very surprised how much I fell in love with people in the cattle business. I have found them to be just wonderful people, very sincere, very down to earth, and very proud of what they do and their contribution that they make to this country, to agriculture, and the contribution they make through the scholarship support, how much they love that.
The brands that go on the Living Legacy Wall are each a unique piece of art, crafted with fire and steel by Denver area sculptor Carl Farmer. Each brand starts by being hand-drawn by those who submit them.
They fill out an application form, and there's a square at the bottom of the application form, and we ask them to carefully draw the brand in that square, because the finished product is a square. I take that and I photocopy that and I send it to Carl Farmer, who is the artist who cuts the brand from steel. He cuts it, he does a patina on it, which means that he coats it in an acid bath that gives it that old-timey, rusty ranch look. Oftentimes when people want to display brands, they do the positive of the brand, so what would be at the end of the branding iron. And I thought that won't work because it's too light. There's not enough graphic punch to it. So I came up with the idea of doing it with the negative, so having the brand cut out of a piece of steel so it appears almost as if it would appear on the cow itself, where you see the brand burned out of the whole area of the pelt. The piece of steel is mounted on 3/4 inch MDF board. It's covered with suede, and then we have a plaque on the bottom that designates the name of the brand, because the name is often quite unique, and then the owner of the brand and the owner of the ranch, or the name of the ranch, and then the state it was registered in and the year.
About 100 brands are now part of the Living Legacy Wall, a growing display that honors the cattle community and builds for the future by supporting the National Cattlemen's Foundation. I'm Russell Nimitz reporting for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
You can find out more about the Living Legacy Wall by visiting the website nationalcattlemansfoundation.org.